and welcome to this new exciting show. And where we're talking very important topics, oftentimes confused, and we want to hear the views of a very prominent guest we have, who has written a book, and he came on the show last time, which you loved his show. So today we are talking about Bhagwan and Devta, God and Devta, how they're different. Devta is a higher official beings on the planet who manage the affairs of the universe or of the planet. So without delay, let us bring on Sri Yashendra Prasad. Yeah, welcome Yashendra ji. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
So this topic that we have chosen to talk about Bhagwan and Devta. So how do you want to define who is a Devta or what you have seen in the scriptures and who is Bhagwan?
Yeah. First, actually, we'll have to concept the first thing which there is in Hindu philosophy is that we have many gods. This is the first wrong perception. Uh, I'm taking, that supreme being, the ultimate power of the universe, whom we call Brahma. Our term is Brahma. Our term is not Bhagwan for that. Bhagwan has a different connotation. We say Brahma, which we can say commonly as God, or Supreme Lord, or Supreme Being of the entire creation. The first thing I would like to, you know it very well, with all the audience, that all in Hindus believe in one God, one Supreme Authority, without doubt. If you come to India, those who have not been to India, if they go and talk even to a tempo driver or a farmer or a laborer, how many gods are there? He'll say, how can there be more than one God? There is only one God. Brahma is one. And generally we say common term is Bhagwan, but Bhagwan has a little different connotation. Now, our perception of the supreme being has to be, and the creation has to be understood. Our philosophy, our understanding from the Vedic time, earliest times of the Indian civilization, is that there was only one thing, one being in the beginning. And that being, that supreme being, whom we call God or the Supreme Lord, he manifested himself as the creation. Now, this is different from many other faiths and philosophies of the world. Mostly we hear that, from other philosophy, there is one God who created. So creation and the creator are, separate. We Hindus do not have that kind of view. For us, the creator himself has manifested himself into many. And this process entire is a process, a step-by-step process has been explained. I will not go into that, but our basic philosophy is that there was only one God in the beginning, and he has manifested himself into many. In the Rig Veda says, Eko aham bahushyami. मैं एक हूं, बहुत होना चाहता हूं. When one wanted to become many, he manifested himself into me. And entire universe, for entire creation, entire cosmos is one holistic whole. In please I'm repeating it again because I think there was a break. Our concept of God, creator, is creator himself has created himself into many. One has become many. And he, the original supreme being, is in this, he's with this creation, and he's also beyond this creation. है दोनों अभिन्न है, अलग नहीं है. उन्होंने ही अपने आप को अभिव्यक्त किया है एक ने बहुत में. So each and every particle of this entire cosmos is interconnected. And you will be surprised. I mean, many people might be aware or might not be aware that according to a entire creation is one consciousness, one holistic whole. Part. Let me explain. We human beings are living on this earth. We are part of this earth. Just like, bacteria and microbes are part of our body. Our entire human body is dependent upon its functioning on bacteria and virus. We know all this, how our blood moves, how our digestion system, metabolism works on smaller organisms. And they are part of human body. Similarly, the human body is part of a bigger organism, that is Earth. For Earth, Prithvi is Mata, Mother Earth, we say. We treat Earth as a conscious being, a living being. So I am a part of Mother Earth. So in our civilization, when I'm the part of which I am again a part. For example, if human beings are part of Mother Earth, so Earth is a bigger organism than human beings. So we refer to Earth as a Devi. Earth becomes a deity. Similarly, the Earth is part of a much bigger conscious field, that is the solar system. So Surya becomes again a Bhagwan, a Devata. We worship the sun because the entire energy on this planet comes from the sun. So sun god. This is not equivalent to the original supreme creator, rather a deity, a force of nature. The solar system is a part of creation. Now that solar system is part of another Milky Way or some constellations. They are different planets. Now our seers, our rishis and maharshis, they have been able to understand much larger forces of nature which are operating in this creation. Now, solar system is, if we look at the map of a universe, the solar system looks like just a speck of a dust. कॉर्नर में पड़ा हुआ लगता है, तो वो पूरा क्या है? And when we look at the astronomical measurements of the ancient Indians, we find that the sun is centered around the North Pole, which we call the Dhruva Tara, Uttar Dhruv, pole star. Pole star is the sun of our sun, and pole star is moving around another center. और करते करते ये सारा जो यूनिवर्स है, the entire cosmos, all the Milky Ways, they are moving around Vishnu Nabhi, the navel of Vishnu. Our creation is how Lord Vishnu is sleeping in Kshir Sagar. The Kshir Sagar is you can say some electromagnetic or some kind of conscious field. And the navel of Vishnu sprouts from it, just like when we, वी यूज सो मेनी चना लेते हैं, मूंग लेते हैं, जिसको हम अंकुरित करते हैं. अंकुरण करने का जो प्रोसेस है, द सीड स्प्राउट्स, wheat sprouts, from a seed, an entire tree comes out. That's how, when Vishnu is the original germplasm of this creation, Vishnu is a deity, a devata. He sprouts, he sprouts from him around Vishnu Navi, all these constellations, Milky Ways, everything, all these exist. So there are different powers of which there are rankings, like, human beings. Below human beings, there are bacteria and viruses and so many other organisms. Above Earth, above the human being, there is Earth, solar system, and Vishnu is there. Then we hear different names of different deities. Shiva is there, Durga, Ganesh, these are deities. They are not supreme being, they are not God, they are Devi Devatas. And they are all, one in one, sab ek dusre mein mile hue hain. For example, I'll just take this, I'll show you this flat, this entire thing is one. Okay. Now, if we take this part, for example, only take this part, then this part again behaves like one organism. And in that organism, there are smaller organisms, on multiple layers are there. So each layer which is above is a devata for the lower level. So, for example, if the bacteria and the viruses, they might be talking to each other, the human being is a devata for them. And for human being, the earth is a deity. And we have got different. We have got Indra, Varun, Aditya. Aditya is sun. We have got Indra, who is, related to clouds and rains. We have got Varun Devata. So Varun Devata again is water, the water element. इसको जल, पंच महाभूत में जल जो है, तो जल is, Varun Devata. We have got wind, the movement, that is Pavan Devata, Vayu. Then we have got, there are different forces. There is, for example, when we reproduction system, the entire reproductory work which is done, जिसको हम लोग sex बोलते हैं, is that force, that is a being whom we call the Kam Devata, Kamdev. Now,
over the period of time, there's so much of disturbance has been created in the name of religion, and so much fight has happened. Especially, the most confused lot has been the Christian world, where Christian world, the church has been like many churches are there which are existing today. One is Peter's church, another is this person's church, and the new church, Episcopal church, and Mormons. There is so much division. There are approximately 800 different types of churches, and all of them, they have had a history. Most of them have had a history of severe atrocities on their own followers in the name of God. So in USA, approximately 50%, 45 to 50% people don't feel associated or connected with God in a way, and they literally believe that the religion is a source of problem for most of them. Now, coming to the Muslim community, many of them have come as refugees in this country, and they have come from Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and other countries they have come. Approximately 25 to 30% of them, they have come here as an agnostic, where they don't believe in any form of higher authority. They don't believe in any form of religion in per se. And the same is true with many of the other Jewish organizations. They don't believe in what the scriptures or their synagogues say. Most of these people who are now disconnected because of their own bad policies, including church had a bad policy of severe control over its followers. And in fact, the church lives on uh, donations, extensive donations. And if you don't give, you're not a good Christian. And that kind of thing is going on. And also in the mosques business also, given the history of the mosques and how many terror incidents have come from the mosques, many of the people are losing faith in that system as well. And in the Judaism also, the same thing is happening because of the extreme philosophy, which doesn't match with the science. Same thing is happening. And so only people are now interested more in finding out, because a human being cannot live without spirituality per se. So they are trying to find out what is there in other systems, such as Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma, whatever we call it, or Buddhism. And so that is the big conflict going on in people's minds. And we can see that happening across the universities and across the American society, that more and more people, they would rather call them spiritual rather than being a any denominational, whether they're Christian or Muslim, they would rather call themselves spiritual. That's the movement going on. So therefore, in this discussion, the Devta and Bhagwan, because God is also a Christian term. So if we call Devta and Bhagwan, that's the area where I think many of them will be very interested to know the difference between the two and how they can connect to them.
See, the fundamental problem here is basically not in whatever Bhagwan or God or whoever the power, supreme power, and the people. The problem lies with the communicators. You know, people who start doing something else, all their business, they want to have their vested interest, then everything gets corrupted. So coming to this, so one fault lies with human beings only. Who start selling their own empires, their own political interests, own, I mean, there are variety of interests have been, we have seen in the history. That's a huge topic. How, this concept of God and things are manipulated to fulfill, worldly interest of the rulers, the businessmen, and other people who just want to make money and name and fame. Now, coming back to concept of Bhagwan and Devata, Bhagwan, let me explain, because what happens, talking about Bhagwan is a very high concept. So one has to start delving into things which, common people find it difficult. But I'm trying to, simplify that as much as possible. See, we feel, all human beings feel, the way the nature is programmed, everything is so systematic. There must be some force, some conscious brain behind all these things. Whatever that is, whatever names we may say. And we also say there can be thousands and millions names of the Supreme Bhagwan. अनंत नाम है हमारे, अनंत नाम हो सकते हैं उनके. We can call him by any name, and we may not call him by any name also. So that supreme being and other forces of nature, there is one force which is regulating the earth. There is a higher force regulating the solar system. There is another force regulating the wind power. There are different forms of energy, Shakti. Now, Durga has in our one of the rituals, जिसको हम लोग चंडी पाठ बोलते हैं, Durga Saptashati. Durga is the energy, Shakti. She is mother. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Sanstita. Then we say, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lajja Rupena Sanstita. Lajja, shyness. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Nidra Rupena, the sleep, the tendency to sleep. That is also a form of energy. Bhranti Rupena Sanstita, confusion in brain. Now, confusion is always also a part of dynamics of energy movement. So she is also a Devi. She is a form of Devi. So energy manifests at different, see the matter, spiritual, energy forms. All these are, like gas. When let's take a chunk of ice. Ice is solid. When it melts, it becomes water. Then it becomes gas. Then it becomes finer, forms of energy level. So these are different levels, and there are different devatas. Similarly, there are innumerable devatas. There are sthan devatas where I'm living. The area also has a brain, has a consciousness. If you travel, the entire geography keeps changing. Soil conditions, trees, so that is the consciousness is changing. My entire house is called Vastu Devata. The place where I'm dwelling, my dwelling house, that is a Vastu, that's a consciousness. It has got its own feeling. If you talk to plants, plants have life. Hindu thought goes by this opinion, our understanding. Everything in this cosmos is conscious. Even the rocks have consciousness. Metals have consciousness. In the field of science, Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose of India was the first one to prove that plants have life. He also proved metals. So all these are different forms. They are not the supreme being. For example, sun is the lord of this solar system, without doubt. So Sun Devata, Surya Devata, is the controller of this Saurya Mandal. But sun is not controlling the Milky Way, isn't it? Some higher force is controlling. So in our terminology, this is terminology of, physics. Our terminologies are, we have got the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. We have got our, science of origin of matter, how the matter has come into existence. I will not delve, but there are three gunas. Satoguna, Satyology, the truth, Satyology. There is Rajoguna. Rajoguna is the force which creates action. So take a small pond, still water is still. You throw a stone. There's a movement in the water. That movement, this force is called Rajoguna. And Tamoguna is the opposite, Satyology, ignorance, darkness, bliss. So these three forces, and they have Anu and Parmanu. And their combinations form this entire thing. So Vishnu represents the Satoguna, Brahma represents the Rajoguna, the action, because Brahma ko hum log Srishtikarta bolte hain, the creative force, and Shiva represents the Tamoguna. So Trinity, we have among the deities, these are the highest trinities. These are abstract forces of nature. Now, Bhagwan is term also used for certain human beings who showed all the characteristics, attributes of the Supreme Being. For example, Sri Krishna, Ram, they were human beings who were born from human beings, parents, they had parents, they lived a normal human life. But though they were human beings, their character, behavior, wisdom, and their work, the power of their work showed such qualities which had such a tremendous impact on the society and the world of that time, that those human beings who interacted with him found the qualities of God, Supreme Being in them. Bhag Shabd, actually, Bhagavan, Bhag Shabd means Aishwarya. They will have all the material riches, they will have supreme power to do anything, and they will be detached to it. They will have the wealth, but they will not be attached to it. They will not like to, this for well-being of the entire. So Ram and Krishna had wisdom, knowledge of all the sciences. You name it. So their impact versus their love, and they were able to resist the wrongdoers. Because, society cannot run only by love. There are certain elements in the society which, we do not listen to you, certain elements. So you have to use certain force to, to cure them. Just for example, with our children, our younger lords, we chide them, we give them chocolate sometimes, but sometimes we have to be very strict, we slap them also. Similarly, so these human beings, Ram and Krishna, and Buddha also, were referred to as Bhagavan. Because, see, we have not seen the Supreme Creator, his abstract idea. How do we know him? So we cannot know him unless we interact with these people whom we sometimes refer to as Purushottam, we refer to them as Avatar, we refer to them as Bhagwan, Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Bhagwan Buddha. So they are from them we realize what the supreme creator is. And the devatas, on the one hand, we have got devatas who represent the natural forces. On the other hand, we also call those people devatas who are very divine. See, the term dew, devata comes from the term dew. Dew means light. I think the name of Germany is also Deutschland, if I'm correct in pronunciation, Dosh. So that comes from English word Dei, Dosh. That comes from Devata, Dev, Latin term Dei. For example, there is a saying in Latin, Vox Dei, Vox Populi. The word of God is the word of people. And and the rishis, the great scientists, our sages, we also refer to them as devata. They have done great thing. When there is some individual, great individual who like Adi Shankaracharya, we have got Ramanuja, we have got Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have seen Ramakrishna Paramhans. They were divine people. Their impact was such. So we refer to them as Bhagwan also. Out of respect, we call them Dev. So these people are also Bhagwan. इसको हम लोग कैसे बोलते हैं? How we call differentiate? One is Nirakar and other is Sakar. Nirakar is the formless idea. Formless idea of Supreme Being is written in the Vedas, in the books, we hear them. But we cannot perceive them. We cannot perceive that abstract form of God. We need some concrete form, a God in human form, with whom we can interact, who can respond. So such individuals, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Ramakrishna Paramhans, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these were such individuals. And we don't see any blemishes in them. If we deeply analyze, and the way the sages have explained them, we don't find any blemish in them. Suppose in me and you other people, there are so many faults. We are not perfect. But these individuals, we are perfect. That's what we have realized. So they are, for practical purposes, our God is Ram, Krishna, the individual, human individuals. And that's why we have got the Guru Parampara. How can we know the abstract things about the religion? How can we know the abstract ideas of spirituality unless we have got somebody in whom these qualities are manifest? Last time also we were talking Dayavan. Daya is a concept, piety is a concept. But unless and until we have got some Dayavan who practices these things, a person who loves everybody, who gives knowledge to everybody, with who can answer our questions. Arjuna, while talking to Sri Krishna, asking so many questions. He could not have asked those questions with abstract God. So practically, religion or spirituality or the knowledge can be practiced only when we take refuge, we follow the living God. Now, living God for practical purposes, he becomes the guru, he becomes the teacher. Purushottam. Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhaj Govindam Mudhamati. Govind, who is Govind? Govind is God. But people say he was a human being. Yes. He says in Gita, in this human form, most of the people do not comprehend that I am the Lord of the Lords. Very few people who are attached to me, who love me, who have surrendered themselves to me with their devotion, and they are following, when they follow what I say, they realize who I am. For example, you see, Arjuna used to follow Krishna. Krishna was his mentor. But Krishna was just a friend for him in the beginning. But during the Kurukshetra war in the beginning, we see that how Arjuna realizes Krishna is Bhagwan in human form. This could have been possible only because Krishna was a human being. And Krishna says, Sambhavami Yuga Yuga. In every age, whenever there is decay of righteousness, the knowledge, the right thing, when the wrong people, wrongdoers in the society, in the world take over, they start controlling the things, then I appear as a human being in that period to cure this, to set things right. See, we have to resist what the wrongdoers are doing in the society. It cannot be just love, you know. Love is those who can listen with love and talk, it's well and fine with them. But those who cannot, you have to resist them. You cannot allow them, you know, the evil, the criminals to take over the control of the society. And that is the problem with the world today. Our all teaching places, the centers of learning and spirituality, which you are naming just now, they have been taken over by scoundrels, those who do not know the real truth. So people feel, disenchanted with such things. They feel, oh my God, what's going on? Is this kind of business? I'm not for spirituality. So they defame the name of God or Bhagwan Supreme Being, spirituality, religion. People get disenchanted. So this happens because every person starts creating his own concept of God. But Hinduism has Guru Parampara. We have initiation from a guru. That is very, right in the childhood. When a child grows, about 7, 8 years, 10 years, he should take the initiation. He should follow the guru, the living guide, and he removes all this confusion and giving the correct knowledge, which is, when you get the correct knowledge, you understand. You feel expanded. You feel love. You feel when you feel for others. The more we are able to serve others, that is expansion. If any say any center of spirituality, if any mosque or any church or any temple says that it's house of God, then it must work in self-interest of other people. It cannot function as a business house. And if it is not functioning as the for the good of the entire world and entire without any discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, communities, then there is something wrong in their perception of God. Because how the creator of this world, the Bhagwan, loves everybody. He wants growth of everybody. When Rama was fighting with Ravan, he had to kill Ravan. He didn't want to kill Ravan. He tried his best. Even while fighting, he's thinking about the welfare of Ravan. He didn't kill him because he wanted to. Because Ravan had put himself in such a condition, he left no option with Ram but to eliminate him for the greater good of humanity.
Now, coming to this topic is a big topic, and we bought it out of popular demand. Now, the biggest confusion in this world, in this part of the world, comes from the church itself. The church has been so strong to remove all the history of the people. They removed the entire Roman history, wiped out. They removed the Greek history, and then impose their own symbols. Like even if you go to Rome, the Pantheon was the place of where the 12 Olympians were worshipped, which was the Greek gods, and they were replaced with popes. Now popes have been very controversial figures in the church history. Some of them are accused of murders. Some of them were accused of running like Roman Empire under the garb of a pope. So there have been a lot of an artificial godliness that was cultivated by the church in many ways. So this has gone on for a long time. And so people have naturally begun to distrust anybody who talks about God. And they want to discover themselves. And that's why yoga has become very popular, because it's a method of internalizing and realizing your own self-worth instead of somebody else trying to claim and tell us what to do. So that's the whole, that's the origin of all that confusion. And I know there are some people many of my friends also, who have strong faith in that institution. But still at the end of the day, when they come out of that building, now they're a totally different person. So when they go into the building, they are the subservient. When they come out of the building, they are totally independent. But in Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, we see whether you're outside the building or inside the building, you're still the same person. The spiritual values carry with you. And that's the major point where people want to know the gods and the Devta, what is Bhagavan and the Devta. So you made a very strong point and you explained very well. I would like to give the forum back to you for before we end the show. 2 minutes.
You have nailed the problem. See, spirituality cannot be institutionalized. It cannot be restricted to institutions or organizations. It's not an department of, say, environment and department of commerce and trade, everything ruled by the ministry. Spirituality is an individual's relation with the universal consciousness, supreme being. And you have got a human mentor, human guide in whom you have to take refuge in him, whether it's Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Ram, Krishna, Paramhans, and your guru, your mentor in some form or the other. You need mentor through whom you can comprehend the entire, but it cannot never be an institution. It cannot be some official or posts. No, there cannot be such thing. So this is the problem. In Hinduism, you do not find this kind of thing. You can conceive of God of supreme being in so many ways. That's why you see innumerable devatas in human being. You know, I like to see him as a father. Somebody else likes to see him as, his brother. Somebody sees him a friend. कोई उनको गणेश बोलता है, leader of the masses. कोई उनको different रूप में उनको worship करते हैं. So all these, so any individual can give any name to Supreme Being in the Hinduism. So we say now there are crores and millions of deities. You know, in Hinduism there is scope, you can invent another billion of deities. All individuals can, but there is one father in the person, in the family. The children are calling him father. The grandfather is calling him son. Wife is calling him husband. The brothers are calling him, brother, dada, bhaiya. So there is one single supreme lord of this universe, creator, who is perceived as in different ways by different people. You have complete freedom. There is no government office or department controlling you and ordering you to do and this. So you have complete independence, complete democracy. You can worship him as Ganesha, you can worship him as a Durga, or Saraswati, goddess of learning, according to your own attributes and or likings and pursuits. But one thing is very important, that all these things you need a human being, a living guru or the master's mentor through whom you can realize all these things. If anybody, if he just worships some abstract ideas, that is not acceptable in Hinduism. And similarly, I see problems in all other, because I think they have moved away from the real original thought of whatever this is. So for example, I would like to say, I do not want to comment on any other community with all due respect, but I would like here to point out that, about Jesus Christ, the story of Jesus Christ, because when one of his disciples asked Jesus Christ, oh Jesus, you keep talking to us that there is a Supreme Father and you are his son. But why you have never seen the Father, You have never seen the Father. You have been talking about the Father for so long. We have been with you for such a long period of time. You have never seen the Father. Jesus smiled and he replied, Thomas, you have been with me for such a long period. You say that you have never seen the Father. He who has seen me has seen the Father also. This line you find in Bible. He who has seen me has seen the Father also. Me and the Father are the same. So what Jesus is originally saying, and I personally, as far as I know, Jesus was very strongly connected with India. And there is a strong school of thought that Jesus visited India. He was, interacted. So his thought was exactly, Supreme Father is an abstract idea. And I am a human being. And what I see in the institution being run and the organization in his name has moved away from his idea. They sell something, I don't, let's not get into that. It's a very long topic. We can talk about it something later. But Hinduism has got total independence. You are one. You can call God by any name. It's your personal choice. And they are the devatas who run this entire creation. Like, there is one prime minister, and there are different, ministers, chief ministers, district magistrates who are running the entire country. Similarly, one supreme being who is everything, who has manifested himself into different forms of the entire creation, and they are the devatas. And the force higher than me is the devata.
So thank you so much, Yashendra-ji. It was wonderful speaking with you. And many viewers have many questions. We'll come back again, invite him again for the next show. And meanwhile, viewers, keep watching. Please subscribe the channel, and we will bring Yashendra-ji back with another topic, interesting topic. And I'll keep your questions, put it on the YouTube video when it comes out, and we'll definitely have Yashendra-ji answer them questions. Namaskar.
Thank you very much.